Easy, how are we?
Shawnee, I'm excited. You better watch out.
Oh, I better not cry? No, you're not
Better
a
not.
Christmas spirit.
Better not. I'm telling you, I'm in the Christmas spirit. I'm coming home. I'm going to be listening to myself Monday morning in the car on the way back from Dublin Airport, 6 a.m.
That'll be the first
It's
time you
weird.
listen to yourself in the podcast. That'll also be weird, but it's also just as weird knowing you that you're in the Christmas
We
spirit.
need the downloads. We need the downloads. Gotta love it. We need the downloads. But yeah, I'm in the Christmas spirit. I went out this evening, so we packed up the apartment. We're in the hotel now, but we met friends for the last time and had some food together. And they stuck on the Christmas movies. So I started with Miracle on 34th Street, and and the problem was, right, they all tried to talk to me. What are you trying to talk to me? You can't put on a movie like that and then go, so like, what did you do today? And I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking to me for? You put on a classic. You're gonna talk to me. Where's the
I know.
babies?
I know it's a running podcast, but people are like this. This is why I can't go to the cinema anymore, because people can't sit for 90 minutes, 2 hours and watch a movie without talking or checking Instagram on their phone or checking TikTok or whatever it is, or having conversations on the phone while in the cinema. I don't go to the cinema anymore. It is my pet peeve. Can't stand it, but thanks for annoying me.
I love that. I love going to the cinema here for the recliners and all. It's the real deal. But again, you see people, and what's worse is the cinema, has this cool idea that they have the phone chargers on the little table where you put your drinks.
Why?
And I was like, and then they're like telling you, stay off your phone. I was like, you're encouraging them to have their phone in front of them. Now, we're all addicts, but I'd love if you went into a cinema, and this is another insight into my brain. It's kind of like when I said I'd run my own race and it's going to be misery. But
reject marriage.
if you went into the cinema, Sean, and you had those magnetically sealed pouches, same when you go to Coldplay or any of them concerts or anything that's being recorded,
any gig
goes into the
now in
pouch,
town, a comedy gig, yeah,
goes into the pouch, right? And if you're talking, everyone has a button in their seat. Do you know, when, like, this person's being a fuckhead, you can just hit a button. And in you come, and you can duct tape their mouth shut. You just duct tape it. You don't have to physically hurt them. It's just a gentle. Well, I could have went a lot worse, Sean, but it's a podcast. So
I just thought you maybe put the phone outside, and the phone doesn't come into the cinema with you. What's this duct tape?
No.
The enemy sign you coming out right now.
You punish them. And you leave one nostril free. So you let them suffer a little bit. Like, if you're going to be that rude to talk in a movie. Although, I found myself not really wanting to watch movies. Because I think myself, and maybe other people are like this as well, my attention span has really gone down. Like, I know for myself, it's like I'll watch a show for 40 minutes, but I'll watch 10 of them in a row, but the thought of sitting down to watch a movie is a bit bizarre. But that's why it's great when I looked at myself being able to watch these movies and falling in love with them again. It's really got me involved in the Christmas spirit, so I am looking forward to it.
What was the second movie? You said 2 movies. You sat down and watched Miracle on 34th Street.
Well, Home Alone came on then.
You're really getting the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good to be back. We have a few things planned. You're going to punish me, and that'll earn me Christmas dinner. I know Jer was giving me abuse, saying he'd happily come and throw coins at me just to put my clothes back on in High Rocks, and wants me to go for a run with him.
You can't take a t-shirt off. You can't do it. You said many times the podcast. I'm telling you, you're going to be hot. You're going to be over sweating. You're going to have so much going on. You're like, Jesus, I am roasting in this t-shirt right now. I would love to take it off, but I made such a big deal of everyone that takes a t-shirt off in High Rocks. There's a reason they do it. When that aircon system breaks down and you're going to be over sweating and everything, and you just need a bit of air, you're going to be dying to do a Hulk Hogan on a t-shirt, but you won't be able to do it because you said in the podcast you can't do it.
Yeah, well, there's no snow in Africa this Christmas time, Sean. So, it's hot where I live. I can't imagine Athlone is going to be what is it going to be, 1 degree Celsius? If anything, the heating is going to struggle to keep us warm. All these lads with their tops off are going to be hugging each other now, trying to stay warm, except me in a big green Any Given Run Day t-shirt. But yeah, no, it's going to be good to be back. And do you know what? And do you know the scene in Home Alone where he legs it home? You know, the bells go and he's like, oh no, I need to go back and set all the traps. And then he has his dinner. By the way, he gets it all done in an hour, which is very impressive. I tried packing my apartment, couldn't do half the stuff he did in an hour. And he has the mac and cheese or the pasta on the plate and the big glass of milk. And he's like saying his little prayer. And I just saw a glass of milk. I was like, oh, haven't had a glass of milk in ages. I can't wait. So yeah, it's the little things. I was like, I have never noticed he drank milk in Home Alone. I was always looking at the pasta, but now I'm like, oh, I haven't had a glass of milk in ages. So yeah, I'm looking forward to coming home. I think people are getting more, particularly now because people are not really running. You know, people are getting out for little shuffles here and there, but even ourselves, I'm kind of like, oh, thank God we're not talking about running. I can talk about random things. I'm probably giving people too much insights. They'll probably be recommending me for help now after a couple of these episodes.
And we're going straight from that the places that aren't warm are some of the highest peaks in the world, Eric. This episode of the podcast is going to take us to different incredible stories we're going to hear from literally all over the world in this one.
Yeah, and you know what's great about this episode? We recorded it a little while back because we did a lot of recordings at the same time, so it's been sitting in the in the tank for a while, and I still thought about it most weeks after recording, and the reason being, every time I go onto Instagram or every time I'm, you know, you look at a feed of anything, I'm always left feeling unimpressive because, like, even today I saw someone completed an Ironman in Antarctica. So they swam in like this ultimate, got out of the water pretty much hyperthermic, then got on this mountain bike thing to take on 180k around Antarctica, and then finish a marathon like Jared did in the previous week. Like crazy stuff. And I'm like, I cannot be that impressive. Like, what can I do? I was like, oh, well done, you do it. Like, even doing a podcast. There's loads of people doing podcasts now. There's loads of running podcasts in Ireland. Yeah, it's bizarre, you know, like to be an individual. But this story and this episode has stood to me as someone who is in the top percentile because hand on heart, something I wouldn't do. And it's not even to say it would interest me. Everything interests me. But I think when it actually came to do it, I don't think I would. For one, fear. Fear would be a big thing, and we do talk about it in this episode. And but I find that it was in a world where records are being broken every week, you know, and thousands of people are taking on races, and like we are still, even doing marathons, we are in a percentile. We just don't think so because we're surrounded by like-minded people and athletes. But with this one, it's definitely a person and a story that is in the minute percentile of the world. It's absolutely amazing what this guy is doing. An absolutely fantastic episode. Great stories, great fun, and we look forward to following this, but it's probably time to stop listening to my personal life. I will see you all at home for Christmas. I'm going to go watch another movie. So, good Christmas movie, Die Hard, Sean. But
there we go.
Yeah, what an episode.
And on that note, it's this week's episode of the Any Given Run Day podcast. Yippee-ki-yay, let's go! Our next guest on the Any Given Run Day podcast has climbed 6 out of the 7 summits around the world, raising thousands of euros for charity along the way, and now has a sight set in the final summit, the Everest of summits. Everest. Next year, raising money for the Children's Grief Centre. Andy Nolan, welcome to this week's episode of the Any Given Run Day podcast. How are you getting on?
Hey guys, how are things? Thanks for inviting me on.
Andy, I fly and I'm afraid of heights. How do you manage climbing these mountains?
You know, I'll actually be very honest. I'm actually scared of heights as well. I can actually tell you. Honestly, I can actually tell you a story. I'd say maybe 10 years ago, I was at one of those, fun ride, really small carousel wheels. And I kind of had the idea at the time, like I'm going to conquer my fear. I'm going to get up in this. It's going to be great. And I was on it. I was on it with a friend of mine. And, it started. And then as soon as it kind of went up, kind of like 10, 15 feet, I knew I made a mistake. And I started shaking. I nearly started crying. And it did one revolution. And my friend was kind of pissed himself laughing. But we had to shout at your man who was looking after the controls, you have to stop, you have to stop. So he kind of went down, to kind of the start point and went up about 10 feet. And he stopped and I just jumped off. So I'm actually really bad with heights, but like it's funny when you're coming to like mountains and stuff. And I suppose, you can be on ridges and stuff like that. It's actually not that bad because, you're not thinking about it. You're kind of thinking about it from the perspective, right? You got to keep going. You just got to be really careful with your feet and stuff like that. And yes, you are looking down and stuff, but oddly enough, it's actually pretty cool in the mountains. But like typical, if I was going up a ladder or stuff like that, yeah, I'd be kind of useless. Really bad.
I just for me, it's not even rational. Like I know I'm like, you're safe, you're grand, you're this, you're that, and but I just get the sweaty palms. Even when I'm looking over the edge, I still look over. Like it's because I know it's irrational. But why to be sweating? I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? That's why I've watched a couple of climbing shows and a couple of these, and I actually sweat watching people climbing these mountains. That's why.
No, I get it. I'm the same. Yeah,
my palms are sweaty talking to you, Andy. It's ridiculous. Andy, where did this start? Like a lot of people talking about some of the documentaries I watch about climbing this and climbing that, and people have been doing it since they're boys and girls and have always been mountaineering or orienteering. How did this journey start for you?
Hydration is key to fueling endurance performance.
Perform Nutrition's Electrolytes Plus sachets have been specifically designed to fill the need for advanced hydration for athletes.
With 1,000 milligrams sodium, all essential electrolytes, and 2,500 milligram performance blend made up of glutamine, taurine, and coconut water powder, one sachet will replenish and revitalize your hydration.
Using natural flavors, natural colors, no added sugar, and no added fillers, each sachet has a sweet and lightly salted fruity flavor and comes in either mixed berry or citrus.
Informed, sport tested, and trusted by Olympians such as Kate O'Connor, world champion boxer Aoife O'Rourke, and pro triathlete Nikki Bartlett, and many more elite athletes.
Trust Perform to fuel your excellence, and by listening to this advert, you are supporting Irish businesses and this podcast. Now let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, I have no background in this, so like I would say even like maybe 15, 18 years ago, I was completely sedentary. Did no exercise, nothing. I kind of started with a little bit of walking, a little bit of hiking and stuff like that. And I guess the first mountain I did was back in 2018. And I was thinking about doing something different. I was thinking about doing something, kind of charity related, something a little bit hard, somewhere where, I could challenge myself. And I just kind of came across, there's a company in Ireland, Earth's Edge, and they were doing trips to Kilimanjaro. And I suppose my own background and perspective, I never did the traveling thing when I was younger, and I always regretted it. And I was kind of thinking, right, man, this would be great. Like let's go to Africa. Let's try and raise a few quid for charity. Let's try something, a little bit different. Something to challenge myself. But I had been procrastinating, and I managed to convince a buddy of mine at work. And I don't know how, because he has absolutely no interest in this kind of stuff either. It's probably just because we're friends. And I probably wouldn't have gone by myself, but I managed to convince a friend of mine, Owen, to do it with me. And I kind of sold it, and I said, look, we're 6 months out. We'll do a little bit of training. We'll partner with a charity. At the time, we partnered with the Irish Cancer Society. And I know Owen's dad at the time had cancer. His brother had cancer. My sister has had cancer before me, who hasn't been touched by illness or something like that. So we kind of partnered with the children or Irish Cancer Society. And yeah, so we started doing a little bit of hiking together. I was doing a small bit of running anyway. And it was just a great opportunity to see somewhere different. So we signed up, we went. It was a fantastic experience. It was actually my first time in a tent. I'd never been in a tent before.
That wasn't part of the training, Andy, no?
No, none. No. Like, we did some hiking, did some running, but I was never actually in a tent before. And I wasn't an outdoorsy kind of person, but I just said, what, it'd be grand. Just get on with it, it'd be fun. And it was. And I remember, I think there was 16 of us in the group, and everybody met it up and stuff. And I just remember summit night, I just got this kind of pull of adrenaline. I was just 100%. I was 110%. I felt great. I was kind of we were chugging up the mountain, and altitude, you kind of take your time. The African thing is, it's called pole pole. Take your time, nice and really slow. You don't go fast. You acclimatize, let the body get used to it. And I just felt really good. We got the summit, and I was just buzzing. And actually, there was a bunch of porters, but you're very much handheld, the first one. And one of the porters kind of said to me, he said, do you want to go down fast? And I goes, yeah, 100%. So we actually ran from the summit of Kili to the first camp. It's about 5K. It took about 50 minutes. And when I say running now, it's like you're on shale. It's not proper running. You're just kind of, you're going
moving quick
downhill this way. You fall backwards a couple of times and stuff like that. But it was just the adrenaline. And then we just got down to the kind of first camp and stuff. And it was just a fantastic experience. It's just, you got to see Africa. It was just amazing. Like,
your heights, it wasn't an issue running downhill from that high up?
No, nothing. I don't know, was it adrenaline? I don't know, it was the buzz. Because like, like you get that, if you get to the top of any summit, like some of them are tougher than others, and like you're wrecked, and you get to the top of it, you have this moment of euphoria. You have this moment of, oh, this is amazing. You have this moment of relief, because I suppose a lot of the ones, we were kind of raising a few quid for charity, and like it was in the back of my mind, God, if I don't get up, I've told people I'm doing this, or I'm letting people down, and we did this charity night, or we did this backpacking and stuff like that, and my first thought is relief, thank God, and then it's just like you get this. You're 5-10 minutes just, this is amazing, it's brilliant. And then you're going back down again. You just kind of move on from it.
That's just the hypoxia, Andy. That's all it is. Don't let anyone.
It could be hape or haze or But no, it was just amazing, and it was just like I didn't know what the 7 summits were. We just got back from Kili, and I think I was doing a bit of running. I did the Dublin Marathon maybe 10 days later, if memory serves. And we were talking about like if you go to altitude, your body generates. It's like legal kind of blood doping and stuff like that, where the body generates more red blood cells. And I'd done one marathon before, and I made a balls of it because I didn't have the training done. And then, I was really conservative as I was there, like, God, we're just back from Africa and I'm wrecked. And I ran a kind of like, I think I ran a 155 first half, and I was just feeling good. I think I ran a negative split. And I think it came in at 340 or something after it. But I don't know, maybe there's something to it. I felt really, really good. But I just said I'd give it a go. Like.
Yeah. There's definitely something to it. So when you got there, obviously, you said, Sedentary, you weren't really involved in sport, but you had covered a marathon before this. You'd taken on the 7 summits. You get to the top. Your man bribes you to get down quicker so we can finish earlier, which is genius on his behalf.
He was smart. He was a smart guy. Yeah.
What then persuaded you after the marathon then to go, okay, 7 summits? First of all, let's compare summiting Kilimanjaro versus a 340 marathon. Which is better?
Which was better? I'd have to say Kili. It was like it like the first time I'd ever done anything kind of, what I consider proper. Like the marathon I did the year before, I think it was Berlin. I was trying to do training, and I just broke down. I got to about 23k, 24k, and for a finish, I think it was the runners. It was ASICs, and I just couldn't seem to up the mileage. I started just getting pains in my knees, pains in my hips, everything, and I swapped to New Balance. And then I suppose, in the space of a year and doing the training for Kili, and I was doing a bit of running and stuff, I was able to kind of get up roughly. I probably did a long run maybe before heading over of maybe 30k. And I just said, you're not doing anything for 2 weeks now. You do hiking, but you're not running and stuff like that. So I just said, just give it a go.
Andy, can I touch on the thought process behind, obviously you knew you needed endurance level, an aerobic base, I suppose, because as you climb, the oxygen, the partial pressure of the oxygen reduces, which is harder to breathe, and that's what makes a difference. So the more efficient your body can be, the more potentially you can survive at altitude or make a very hard day slightly less hard. What was your thought process in the training going through that? Because having a little bit of running experience and then going, right, I'm really going to run with this. Why running and hiking?
Yeah, I suppose running for me, it's like, because I was so sedentary years ago, it's just efficient. So like you can go out and run for an hour as opposed to go out and walking for say 3 hours or 4 hours and stuff like that, and you can get it done, or you can do a long run, and you're training for a goal and stuff like that. That's kind of why running kind of appealed to me. Like, and I'm like 6 foot odd. I don't look like a runner, but I enjoy it. It's good fun. Thinking about the altitude and training and stuff like that, I got to be honest, I've never really thought about it. It's just a case of, I kind of know I have to do a little bit of running for the cardio. I kind of know I need to do a bit of hiking. At the time, I didn't do any kind of strength training and stuff. It was, I suppose I was younger. It was just running and hiking. That was it. Just for Kili, and sorry, maybe the first 4 summits, 5 summits actually. Yeah.
So when you come back then, you do Dublin Marathon. You are cloud 9 because you've done Kili. You've done a 340 marathon, which that is an absolutely fantastic time. And maybe there's proof. Maybe I need to go climb a few mountains before I do my next marathon. But what then decided 7 summits? This is where I want to go and what I want to do.
Are your muscles tight, tired and sore after training? Or maybe you're trying to get ready for your next run?
Make these ultra-pure hero recovery products a regular part of your routine.
2 must-haves for active lives.
First, we have the Wintergreen Heat Rub Cream, perfect for warming up before your workout.
And then we have the Epsom Salts Gel with Arnica, ideal for soothing and support after exercise.
A simple, natural way to care for your muscles both before and after your activity.
Proudly guaranteed Irish and made in County Mayo by an award-winning family business, Ultra Pure means quality you can feel and trust.
Shop these Ultra Pure favourites online today at ultrapurelabs.ie. Grab yours now and give your muscles the care they deserved. Also, a fantastic stocking fillers for all your runners. By listening to this advert, you are both supporting Irish businesses and this podcast. Now let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking about it. Like, I'm always like running. Like, I've done a few marathons, I've done a few halves and stuff, and like, you know, it's grand doing something once. But I just kind of mindset, right? If I did it once, it could be a fluke. So I'm there, kind of, can I do it again? Can I replicate it? Or maybe it was the buzz I wanted. And I was doing a little bit of research, and you know, I think probably at the point at which I said I signed up for Elbrus, which Kili's the African continent peak, Elbrus is the European one. And the same company was offering trips to Elbrus, and you have to fly into Russia. So it's kind of hard to do Elbrus the last number of years, you know, with the bits going on over there. And yeah, very, very different, you know. So it's like it's ice, it's snow, it's crampons, it's again stuff I'd never used before. And I kind of said, you know, yeah, sure, why not? You know, I've done one, let's just see if I can do 2. And then I think it was at that point I was kind of looking, right, there's a few different options, and I saw Elbrus and I kind of go, right, there's a 7 summits thing, right? It's a 7 continents. Oh, that'd be cool. And I just signed up for it. I paid the deposit. Actually, if memory serves, I think I was out for a couple of jars with a few friends of mine, and I think I signed up.
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts. That's what starts with marathons as well. You know, you go for a couple of points after and you sign up again. But yeah, I think I paid. I think it was like $350 was the deposit, or £400 or something like that. And I was in the pub, and I don't know. I think I was chatting to people, and then I think, not that I was goaded into it. Like, it was kind of like, you know, I was thinking about doing it. Yeah, why don't you do? Just sign up for it. Like, so I just signed up for it, and then it was kind of like, yeah, it's you know, it's in the calendar. It's something to work towards, and yeah, it was cool as well. Difficult. It was difficult. Yeah.
So how do you space them out? Because obviously there's a lot of travel involved. There's other countries. There's training. You have to maintain the balance between, do I want to be training all the time, or can I get 2 or 3 done at the same time? When you sat down after you sobered up and realized, right, I've done this, what was the plan to fit these in?
Yeah, so it's seasonal. Yeah, so like Kili, you're lucky enough, you can kind of go. You know, there's a load of windows from like January to December and stuff. Elbrus, you can only really kind of go in July. To give an example, Aconcagua, you can only go in January. Vincent, you can kind of only go in December, January. And then Everest, you can only go in like April, May. So like, I suppose the first one I did in 2018 was kind of, I think it was August or a little bit later actually. And then Elbrus was the following year, so 2019. So obviously it's time off, it's finances and stuff like that. And at that point it was just signing up for number 2, which is 2019. And because it was like in July, if I was going to do a third one, and the third logical one was Aconcagua, because it was January, I couldn't do it the following year just because of time off and expense and stuff like that. So I always knew that if I was doing one in 2019, the next one wouldn't be till 2021. And then COVID hit. Which was bizarre as well. Yeah. So then Aconcagua ended up being 2022. Just one point in Elbrus, I just remembered, like we were so lucky to summit Elbrus. So like, you know, any given trip has like an itinerary, and say for example, you know, you're this camp to this camp and moving here to here, and your planned summit day is say Thursday, but you have a contingency day of Friday and Saturday. And then so we were in Elbrus, and there was loads of people on the mountain, you know, different countries and stuff, because, you know, it's seasonal, and the weather was just it was just terrible. So our summit day went. The first contingency day went. The second one went. You know, and then at that point everybody else went home. And then we kind of had a conversation with our group. I think there were 7 or 8 of us, and we were, you know, our itinerary had built into, you know, we were going to spend a day in Moscow on the way back, but our provider was able to change our flights, so to give us 2 more shots at it, knowing that the first one was gone because the weather window was terrible, and we just kind of hoping and praying. So you're literally kind of we were sitting in kind of a shack, and you know, like you're supposed to get up like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then your guide would knock on the door, and you kind of wake up and you're there kind of going like, are we going? It was like Christmas, you know, like Santa, like, are we going? And we had like 4 in a row of, you're going fucking nowhere. Like the weather's terrible. You're staying there, and you can't get back to sleep, and you're depressed. Like, and then so we had this literally last window, last opportunity. This was it. We were going home otherwise. And then he was like a Russian guy. He was there, like, I think we go. And he was on about like this really small window and stuff. And there really was a small window. Like the weather changed on the way up and changed on the way down, and we just went for it. And we were lucky enough to get up it. And it was the northern route, western summit, which is the only way to climb Elbrus. You can do the south side, but it's like you can get cable carts most of the way. It's kind of like, I don't know, I don't rate it. Like you got to do like you got to carry your own shit, and you have to like you got to do it from the bottom.
If the weather was really bad when you reached the summit, did you think, it's all right, there's a cable car?
No, but that's cheating. Like, like, so I don't get that mindset. If you're going to do it, you do it. Like you can get up Elbrus. If you Google it, right, there is a handy way from the south. And again, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody who's done it the southern way, but you should have done it the northern way. It's like, it's the only way to do it. But it was like really opened my mind to like, look, so like you can turn up, right, and you can be the fittest person in the world, you can be the most mentally resilient person in the world, but if Mother Nature isn't on your side, you're going home, like, and all the training, all the expense, all the time, means nothing. Means nothing. And it really opened my eyes to it. And like, it was just like just a really surreal, weird period. And then the getting up was just like, I just so privileged, like so lucky. Because literally, I think we were the only group that season that got up.
There's
a bunch of Irish lads, it was great.
Look at the Irish.
There's a quote you have on your Instagram, and that one is, the peaks don't hand out trophies, they just let you pass if you are lucky, which pretty much sums up what you had, that small little window just to get up there.
I think that's 100%. And it was probably true of Aconcagua as well. Because when we arrived at base camp and stuff, they were giving like speculation for the next week and stuff.
Sorry, where is this? What country?
Sorry, Aconcagua is South America. So like, so the 7 continents.
We're trying to keep up, right? We're from Russia now, and then we're gone.
So Africa was Kili, Elbrus was Europe, which you fly into Russia because it's the Caucasus mountain range, which is shared between Russia and Europe, but it's the true highest peak in Europe. Some people think it's Blanc. It's not. I don't think it is. But there's a couple of 7 summit lists, and Blanc is on one of them. But I personally think it's Elbrus. I think it's more challenging than Blanc as well. Yeah. And then Aconcagua is South America. Like you fly into Buenos Aires, and then you take another plane to a place called Mendoza, and it's the Andes. It's just surreal. It's just amazing. Wow. Like yeah.
When you're looking at training for this, just trying to put a little bit of context on this in terms of like the challenge. Do you look at the meters? So, for example, Elbrus was 5,642 meters. Now you're going an extra 1,300, like 6,961 to Aconcagua. Does that play with you a little bit, or is it just you're up there? The elements.
Not the slightest. No, it's the next one on the list. And it's like you can do. Like you can Google how to do it. Like typically, unless you're living in Australia, right, you might do Kosciuszko as you're there because it's like a day trip, but like typically Kili's the first one, and then just kind of Googling Elbrus the second one because it introduced kind of snow and stuff, and then Aconcagua it's kind of like it's just under 7,000 meters, and it's like it's kind of it's a proper expedition. You kind of go from like the gate from like 30 odd degrees to like maybe minus 20. There's like a 50-degree swing, but it's like it's loads of hiking. You're traveling in. The Andes are all around you. Beautiful rock formations. Beautiful sunrises, beautiful sunsets. Once you get to base camp, it's steep enough. It's steep enough on the way up. Actually, I just remember the tallest or highest art gallery in the world is actually in base camp in Aconcagua. There's like this Argentinian dude called Miguel Dora, and we're kind of chatting to him. You can tell like he's a really chill, kind of cool kind of a dude, but he just sits there like selling like really expensive paintings to tourists and stuff. But if you Google it, it's in the Guinness Book of Records. It's the highest situated art gallery in the world. It's pretty cool. Like,
Wow. So for context, for those who fly, and this is China, because when you convert meters to feet and people fly, 37,000 feet is or 33 to 37 commercial airliner. This one is 22,000 feet, give or take. They're about 7,000 meters.
Is that conversion? Yeah.
They're thereabouts. Yeah. So after 10,000 feet, we struggle to breathe. So between 10 and 13,000, we probably need to supplement with oxygen after about 30 minutes or so. What happens after 13,000 feet? I know what happens if it happens to us when we're up there. But what element then is included in this hike when you're going up? Because it's a real serious danger.
Yeah, like, again, I don't really think about it, right? And there is a consideration of HAPE and HASTE, right? It's just acronyms for high altitude pulmonary edema or high altitude cerebral edema. So it's like, the chest or the head and stuff like that. I don't think about it. but I'm aware of it. So I suppose the general model for kind of high altitude mountaineering stuff, it's kind of climb high, sleep low. So like you'll acclimate, you'll take a trip, you'll maybe touch another camp, you'll spend a little bit of time there, you come back down, and the next day maybe you'll move again and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you go up, you allow the body an opportunity to, I suppose,
struggle,
exist or persist in that environment. You remember, you're going slowly. There's no, you don't go fast at altitude at all. No, nobody does. Because like that is when you will have an issue. So you take a time and you're kind of motoring along, and you'll go to a certain altitude. You might spend a bit of time. You come back down. You might sleep there that night, and then the next day you might move to that camp. And that's the and then you'll get yourself to a point. Typically a high camp whereby you're within maybe 15, 18 hours of up and down summit, and you'll go and you'll plan it, and boom, you'll go for it.
Just do it. And do you bring oxygen with you up when you're going?
I haven't used O2 yet. No, so there is none in Aconcagua. Somebody told me that they've actually introduced it, and it is an option now for people, but I didn't actually see anybody using it, and we weren't offered it, so I said,
didn't pay for that package. Oxygen, you say?
It is expensive. Like apparently in Everest, if you want to get extra oxygen outside of your package, it's like 10 grand for like 2 canisters or something like that. It's
and you have to
fly it, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd imagine you probably would pay for it if you needed it. Like
absolutely.
Yeah.
Myself and Eric have made every mistake when it comes to marathons. Have you had an issue with altitude, or have you been in a group that has an issue?
No, like probably the only issue I had, and my buddy Owen, I can tell you from Killy, is that condiments at altitude don't mix with me. I tend to get like lots of wind and stuff. So I was sharing a tent with my buddy, like, and he was like, you get kind of, like a slightly rumbly kind of tummy and stuff. Have I had any issues at altitude? Not really, no. Like I did notice at Aconcagua, right, once we got to a place called the Canaletta, maybe you were 500-600 meters from the summit, that you can tell there's a considerable difference, say the summit of Elbrus or summit of Killy, that you're kind of yawning, which is the body sign that it wants to take in more oxygen and stuff like that. I did notice that, and I saw a wreck of people just panned out like asleep. When we got to the top, we kind of went up and we were kind of celebrating and stuff, and I looked around and I was there like, there's a load of people lying down asleep, and I said, hopefully somebody will wake them up before they have to go back down, because you just get tired. I'm assuming that's what it's like to, like if you go beyond 7,000 meters, that you feel tired and your body needs more oxygen and you just get sleepy. I'm guessing, Yeah.
Speaking of things that can affect you up in the mountains, your next one, not to jump too far, Denali is Alaska, and I think of Alaska, Iceland, probably facing Iceland, a lot of these from the Russian one on. Frostbite. You have a post up from your friend with, like, we joke
Harley
about frostbite and stuff like that. It was a bit cold outside, but this was gruesome. I've never Googled or seen it up close where you had those pictures up on your Instagram page.
I would say he was probably the only person that ever presented in Ireland with frostbite when he got back. If I was to guess, like I got a really good story about Denali, and I suppose not necessarily how that happened, but Denali's in Alaska, and you kind of fly to this really quirky town called Talkeetna, right, which is an unincorporated community, so it's not Democrat, it's not Republican, and the mayor of the town is a cat.
Oh yes,
yeah. The mayor of the town's a cat, right? So we were Talkeetna a couple of days before, and you fly from Talkeetna on one of those small like de Villiers otters, but 50 minutes into base camp stuff. It's just it's amazing scenery, just Alaska and stuff. And yeah, so like the town itself, it kind of looks like imagine like a wild a John Wayne Western, with the kind of fronts of the building and stuff, but it has electricity. And so it's kind of like that. And there's a place called Nagley's, which is the mercantile store. And the cat lives in there. So basically, for the last 10, 15 years, any cat that resides in here is the mayor. So we met the mayor when we were there.
The mayor of town.
We met the mayor of Talkeetna, yeah. So I was telling you about a story. So like by far, Denali then was like the toughest. Like if you Google it, right, there is parallels to Everest. It's really tough. And I remember our guide, we were chatting because you're fully self-sufficient. And he was there kind of going like, day one is the hardest. And I was there kind of, what? Like he was dead serious, like day one is the hardest. And he was right. Day one in Denali is the hardest. It's that. So I was there, we were there for 23 days. Day one is the hardest.
And what made it so difficult?
So you're starting, I suppose, kind of soft snow, right? So you're not wearing crampons, you're wearing snowshoes, right? Which are a bit of a pain to use. So it's soft. And then you might have maybe 35, 40, 45 kilograms on your back. And then you've got a sled that's kind of attached to ropes that's maybe 10 feet behind you. And then you're tied into like probably groups of 4 or groups of 3, depending on the mix. And then you're going uphill. So you've like your weight, you've got the sled pulling behind you, which doesn't play ball at all. like 45, maybe 45, 90 kilograms, 100 kilograms shared food and everything for the 23 days. And you're going uphill. And I remember going into camp one, absolutely banjaxed. And I was there like, oh God, I've made a mistake. Like, this is really tough. But in a way, it was kind of cool because it was like, it was the toughest. Like, the other days were really tough as well. But day one it was really hard. But it was a real eye-opener. But no, it was great. No, I loved it.
Tell me you done some strength training by here. Had you done a bit of strength training and all knowing this was coming? Had you been into the gym at this stage, or was this? Did you not know till you got to the last game? It's going to be.
I didn't do any strength training, and like my buddy Harley got the frostbite. He was sending me pictures of like he was going around the field with a sled tied to his back. I was just kind of laughing at him like, and I was there. No, we don't need to do that. And the reality was, I should have been doing that as well. I should have been out in a field pulling a tire somewhere, which I didn't. But no, in fairness, Harley did. Like. The story. So it was 23 days, and Denali is tough. You're self-sufficient. You carry your own stuff, and it's that climb high, sleep low, and that's why it takes so long. So what you do is, say, if you're going between a couple of camps, say tomorrow, you might go maybe 60% of the way there, and you'll bury a load of your stuff in the snow. So you'll dig a big hole, you chuck everything into it, and you'll cover it up, and you'll stick a little tin flag, and then you might spend an hour there, and then you might come back down. And weather plays a part as well, but you can get delayed. And then the day after, what you do is you'll go 100% to the next camp. And you'll set up camp and you'll drop, say, the other half of your load there. And then the day after, you'll do a back carry. So you'll come back to that 60% point. You'll dig up all your stuff. Your bags are empty. You'll dig up all that stuff. You'll bring it and you'll bring it to that camp. And you keep going that way. You take a rest day in between and stuff like that. So that's the way you do it. And it's funny, like if you Google it, right, like no matter what you bring, right? Let's say if you decide to bring 8 Mars bars instead of 4 Mars bars, you have to carry those extra 4 Mars bars. So literally grams come into play. So like we were kind of told, don't bring too much food, don't bring too much gear, etc. Once you get to high camp, everybody will be giving away food. People that have summited because they won't want to carry it down. It was actually true. Yeah. People you were kind of going up and they were offering you food, but they were like, "Do you want the jellies?" Yeah, but you have to take the fucking carb bar as well. Like you can't take both. You got to take both of these. Like. And so like guys are coming down and stuff like that, and like Denali is proper. It's really good mountain.
23 days though, that's a lot of food. Like, no, yeah,
it's a good bit of food. So like everybody's carrying the shared load element of it as well,
right?
So like you're making camp. So with the exception of kind of high camp, you were getting like a tin foil like pot noodle. I think Mountain something is the name of them. And like, they're ridiculous. They've got like a 40-year shelf life. If you look the best before, it's like, 3050 or something like that. They last forever. Right? You just put water in, there's just calories, you just eat them and stuff. But up to that point, you're able to make food and stuff. So you'll just make camp and you'll, typically the guide will cook because you don't want the risk of contamination and stuff. So you get one person doing it. So one person is controlling the food and the hygiene and stuff like that. But, Denali's a proper experience, proper mountain. It was like by far, to date, the toughest of the 6, 100%.
What is it like mentally? Because people always say, you look at any anecdotes, 2 step forwards, 1 step back. You're literally doing that to summit a mountain, which, any metaphor is about climbing the hill and, knocks along the way. How annoying is it to go, fuck, I have to go back down and get this fucking bag?
It's very fucking annoying.
Is it just part of it, or does it get to you?
No, but it's the process. But the mindset I always bring in, and generally the vast majority of people you meet in these expeditions are sound, 100%. Like, and I was lucky enough to do 3 of them with my buddy, right? And the vast majority of people are sound, and like a similar mindset. And you can't have that kind of mindset. You just got to kind of get on with it. Like, I actually remember Denali, and I actually felt really, really lucky, right? So when I originally signed up, I was in, say, Team A, right? And then my buddy signed up a little bit later, and he was in Team B. So I swapped to Team B, and then Team B was great, but then I was looking at Team A, and there was a couple of langers on it. And I was there kind of going like, oh man, how lucky was this? Harley, I mean, like normally you're unreliable and stuff, but this time it worked out, buddy. We're on a really good team. And there was one guy in particular, like, and you could just tell he just wasn't a team player. He was like, he was like this martial artist dude, and then he had this idea that he'd get to the top of Denali and he'd break a coconut in half, right? And he didn't do it actually. He tried to break it, but he couldn't. But I remember they were going between camps, and he was sitting at one of the camps, and they were going to do a back carry, right? So obviously, if you don't do a back carry, you're spreading your load. Someone in your team has to carry the flak for you. And I remember him sitting down, and we were kind of we'd arrived in camp, and they were slightly ahead of us. And he he was sitting down on something, and he'd his sock off, and you saw a little blister or something, right? And he was kind of there, oh, my blister. And then he didn't do the back carry because he had a blister. And I was there kind of going like, oh my God, are you telling me like you're going to let your team carry your shit because you've got a blister? I mean, just put a fucking compete on it and get down and get your shit. It's your shit. Like, that's what I was thinking to myself. I didn't say it to him. Like, and I could just tell that kind of mindset. And like, I chatted to a few of his buddies after in the team, and they were kind of going like, yeah, Langer. So like, I was so lucky. The team we had was so cool. Like, but like, again, there's luck again. I could have been on the other team. Or I might be able to swap. But they were really flexible. But it was such a good experience. And then we got caught in base camp for a couple of days, and we flew off. And I suppose, probably the biggest setback I've ever had in the mountains happened then in Denali. So I broke my ankle and leg when I was over there. Did you see those posts? Or?
Yeah, I've seen you 3 surgeries or something you're off. I have it somewhere wrote down here. So like 3 surgeries you had over this coming down.
Completely my own fault. So we just got off the mountain. And we were like, I don't know, like 10 hours off the mountain and stuff like that. And because you don't know when you're getting off, you don't know where you're staying. So we ended up getting like digs in like this, I don't know, this like lodge or house, like 4 or 5 miles away. And obviously 23 days, you're wrecked, you tend to lose a lot of weight in these things as well. I think I lost about 2.5 stone, maybe close to 3 stone in Denali. So like you're coming off like, and I'm not blaming that, right? I'm not blaming that as an excuse, but we did go for pints, right? And we did. On the way, we walked in, right, so 5 miles in, and we were looking at, there was this bike rental shop, and it was going to be shut later, but they had this kind of like, like a weedy tuk-tuk, like somebody sits in the front and 2-3 people can sit in the back.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think this was my idea, but it was me, Harley, and a really cool guy we met called Adam Kennedy. He's from the States. And I think it was Adam or Harley, and they kind of goes, guys, we're going to borrow that on the way back. And I think that was the genesis of my downfall, right? So then, we go into Talkeetna, and we're having a couple of pints and stuff like that, and then we were coming back, and then sure enough we did borrow it. So I think I ended up driving, the 2 boys were in behind, and there were icy roads obviously and stuff like that, but yeah, I crashed it into a tree, and then it kind of rolled down like a ravine and stuff, and I got trapped, and then like I kind of woke up and like, obviously, all right, something's really sore. And I passed out. And then I kind of wake up and like, Adam has my hand, he's there. Don't look down, Andy, don't look down. And I'm there, what? I look down, my fucking ankle is like 90 degrees, and I goes, ah! And then I like pass out. And the cycle was going to repeat it till the ambulances came. And then, it was like, we went into, I think we were in Anchorage, and then they just kind of set it and stuff. But like, the ambulance guys, they just pump you full of God knows what. I was hallucinating all the way in. Like, I think it was ketamine or fucking something.
It is usually, depends.
Yeah, it was nuts. But it was like some experience trying to get home and stuff like that. And then just harking back to Harley then. So it was like the ambulance came, and, they were only going to take me, and Harley knew there was something wrong with his finger. And they were there, no, we're not taking you. And he was there, come on, you have to take me. He's my buddy. Like, and he was there, he whipped off his glove, like, and there's his finger, and it was like, you saw the picture, it was like swelling out. And they were there, all right, your man was on dispatch. We got 2. So the two of us were taken into the hospital. And the funny thing about it is, I've actually spoken to Adam. He was in Everest the year after. So this was like June 23. And the story of this has actually spread out to the wider community. So like, we're infamous in Talkeetna. And there was actually people
and nearly killed themselves at the base of it with a tuk-tuk.
Yeah, like I think we're in, like, Harley's from New Zealand and I'm Irish, and he was like, it was like the 2 paddies that came over, like, climbed an alley, and your man broke his leg, and one of them got frostbite. But Adam was actually in Everest in 24 in base camp, and like, people had heard the story, and they were coming up talking to him, and he was like telling them about the story. So like, we're famous for being stupid, like. But yeah, it was like, but it was like, talk about a low point, like surgeries and stuff like that, and you were laid up, and you kind of come back really fit, and you've lost a few pounds, and it's great, and then you're stuck on the couch for 6 months, and surgeries, and I decided to get the stuff taken out, so it was like tib, fib, and leg, and then you're just towards the end of 2023, I was just learning to walk again. Yeah, genuinely. Yeah, it was nuts, and I was just so annoyed at myself, because I was just
so simple,
so
silly,
fucking stupid. Like, this is completely avoidable. Why did you do this? Like, it just sets you back. But I learned a lot from it. I suppose in general, I've never learned anything from any of the summits where stuff has gone right. I've only ever learned when stuff has gone wrong. and there's plenty of stuff that went wrong. But I think that's the only way.
Andy, can I ask you about coming down? Because obviously summiting and you're feeling and people are panned out and passed out. That elation as you come down, obviously we heard in Kilimanjaro, you ran down. As you come down, obviously you start to get more oxygen. Is it more brave? But obviously, I don't know, maybe coming down is the more dangerous element. Summiting is the easier, but coming down can be more dangerous for a lot of reasons.
I think that's a fair point. And I think in generally my kind of philosophy would be, I think you're less than halfway there when you're at the summit. Coming down, like Kili was okay, Elbrus is okay. Aconcagua, you got to be on the ball coming down because fatigue is a major factor. Because like Aconcagua, I think was like, I don't know, maybe 15 hours, 18 hours. Elbrus probably 15 hours. So like, and we start early as well. So they're long days, and it's the cumulative effect because you're tired. Hiking out of Aconcagua, it's tough as well. I think the last day you do like 27k. It's your last hike out of it. It's grand terrain once you get down to kind of Plaza Mulis, kind of base camp and stuff, and it's fine. But definitely coming down from Denali, definitely coming down from Elbrus, probably Vincent as well. Yeah, you need to be really careful. Fatigue is a massive factor. Like you got to get over the fact you've summited, and you have to get down. You take your time and stuff like that. And it's very easy to get kind of lazy and make a mistake and stuff like.
That you ever want to have break your leg and have surgeries doing this quest for 7 summits, but if you ever were to do it, the next one after this is probably the one you want to do first, because this seemed like, as you put it, like you expected more sweat and more graft heading to Australia for just a handy. From what you've been through from Denali to this one in Australia,
it's just a hassle of getting to Australia. It's like Croke Park.
The worst part was the flight.
The worst part was the flight. The flight was horrific because the seats are really small. It's just I didn't enjoy it. But it's kind of like if you want to do the 7 summits, you got to number 5. So it's Kosciuszko. And I remember I booked, I think it was 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, and I had no plan. I'd booked flights, so I was going to spend a little bit of time in Australia, a little bit of time in New Zealand. I'd nothing booked for New Zealand, and I'd do a little bit of time in Hong Kong on the way back. So remember, I got over on a Friday to Sydney. I think I got the car on a Saturday, and I drove down to New South Wales Saturday evening. It's about 6 hours from Sydney, and I just got up Sunday and I did it. There was actually shorter routes you could have done, but I added on 15k just to make it interesting. But it was like literally Croke Patrick is harder. It was just.
What height is it?
2228. That's exactly. I'd say the elevation gain is probably 1,000 or less or something like. Yeah. Was really handy. So then I was there fuck am I going to do for the next 3 weeks? So I just kind of toured around. Just kind of toured around and stuff. Went to Queenstown. And then Hong Kong, went to Macau to have a look at it, just from the Hangover movies and stuff on the way back. Yeah, it was just a really good trip, just traveling and stuff like that. I went by myself, so I do tend to get bored. I would have preferred to have gone with somebody, but ask somebody to do Kosciuszko. It's just, unless they're doing the 7 summits themselves, why would you do it? It's just,
literally I tick the box to go to Australia. That's bananas.
It was literally tick the box. And it was great to see it.
Yeah.
It was never on my bucket list, but I kind of had a window. I had a month off between jobs, and I just kind of went, I'll do it. This is a perfect opportunity. And I was still coming back. I wasn't fit. It was just something to do.
Learning how to walk again, and obviously with this in mind, how frustrating was that part of it?
Very, very. It was frustrating because I mentioned because I did it. It was my fault. It wasn't Mother Nature. It was just stupidity. So I felt poor. I felt bad. I felt, when I got the initial kind of surgeries and stuff, even standing up and stuff, they just kind of like blood pressure and just the pressure and swelling. And then I had hypersensitivity in my kind of my foot and toes, because I suppose the ankle just went literally like that. And then, when the cast came off.
John's face.
Why are you laughing at?
Give more detail, because
you're good. Move on.
Give more detail.
Yeah,
just the idea of the ankle. Oh God.
Yeah, so shivers. Look at him. He's in bits.
No. So I took when the cast came off, the calf had completely atrophied. I have a video up of it. It's like you could feel a bone in the front, but there was nothing. It was just like a sack of flesh in the back of it. It was just everything was gone, beyond zero. It was there was no muscle. And then the left one wasn't much better. And then, it's really difficult to balance everything up again, because everything is just banjaxed. It's just going the wrong way and stuff. Very frustrating. And then just trying to walk down the road with the boot, the protective boot on and stuff. You're going 200 meters and you're fucking flat. and like you're coming back and stuff. And then I remember it was a good bit of time after maybe getting the stuff taken out. I was really scared to run. I was really scared to put pressure on it. And I was like, kind of going on the road. And then I was kind of asking the physio, can I do it? And she goes, yeah, you're grand. Yeah, you're fine. And it was just like pure apprehension, like, and stuff like that. And then building up, and you've tons of setbacks.
Can I just touch on then as well? Momentum is great. And anyone who's doing marathons, multiple marathons in the 7 summits, this is obviously a major setback. You're nervous now. You've taken on a very hard mountain. Okay, silly at the bottom, but now you're building back up. What does that do for the momentum of your journey and the goal, and what did it do for you?
So I was kind of looking at just from a maths perspective, right? So when I came back from Australia, it's 5, right? So I know I can't stop, because I know that if I stopped, and I know that in 10 years' time when I'm not able to do it and I'm in the pub, I would just be miserable. I would just be nobody'd want to hang around me. You know what I mean? I would just be fucking awful. So I know that I have to give it a go. I know, regardless, I have to see it out. I have to do 6, and I have to try and do 7. And now is the window to do it, because I started this kind of stuff late, And in terms of momentum, then it was a case of, right, because it's seasonal, right? So that was January 24. If I didn't do Vincent the end of the year, it would be end of the following year. It's a full year, plus the year to go itself. So it's like 2 years from that January if I didn't do it that year. And then that obviously has a knock-on effect, but you can't just go financially from one to the other. So Everest is like 4 years, so it's nuts. So I just kind of said, it's time to put up or shut up, and it was just a case of jumping straight in 2 feet. And it's like, I got to do Vincent there's an option to do it in the start of December, or there's an option to do just after Christmas. So I said, you're gone for Christmas. So I said I'd do it in, I do kind of like the middle of December and stuff.
And is that coming this December, or is it already complete?
No, I did it. Yeah, so I'm 6 and done,
I'm curious on this story as well, how this summit felt after going through what you went through.
I was a little bit worried about my ankle, but I've been doing. I joined a really cool local gym. It's in Newport here. The workshop, brilliant. And I started doing a little bit of strength training and stuff, because definitely I found for the fixed lines and Denali and stuff, I had some upper body strength, but I knew I needed to work on it. And you can get fatigue. And there is fixed lines in Vincent as well, and it definitely helped. And Connor and the guys in the gym are superb. I think I was like the 31st Irish person to do Vincent, but like that's kind of flattering, because it's not like it's hard. It's just that it's
so hard,
expensive, and it's remote. So it's not like, Jesus, 31, man, I'm amazing. Not at all. Anybody could do it.
But what?
With minimum training. It's just that it's so remote and stuff. So it's not a case of
for Christmas. What a scenery for Christmas time, and all the rest. Because in Antarctica, there's a video you have in Instagram. I know I'm jumping ahead near the top, and you've done it, but New Year's Eve, you're doing the countdown, and you're looking. The sun's out. It's daylight. It's bananas.
What you didn't know, there's no nighttime. What you didn't know about that is we ran out of beer the day before.
Oh,
so it was like, because there was weather and the camp couldn't get beer in, and it was probably because we were there, but we ran out of beer. So it was like wine, or I don't know, it was mulled wine or something like. But we drank it anyway. Absolutely. But it was like, like Antarctica was cool. Like, so, like we flew into Punta Arenas. I think the first flight. BA lost my bags.
Oh, jeez.
Everything. I mean, like, so I think I got 3 flights there, and my bags were left in Heathrow. So I'm trying to think of the first place we stopped on. We were maybe 7 hours from Punta. And then, I was going to the desk, and I was there, where the fuck are my bags? And there was nothing on the carousel, and I was running around, I'm in the wrong place, and they weren't there. So I went up to the counter, and, English was a challenge. And it was like, we'll ring you, we'll log it, blah, blah, blah. So I had to get on the next flight knowing I had no gear. And like, there's no chance of renting gear. Not a fucking chance. Like, you'd get everything replaced. So I was like, I got on the last flight, and like, I had no gear. And I had like actually no clothes. I had nothing. Like, I did.
Go to
Antarctica for like 2 days.
Out of all the places in the world to go to, you're not going to exactly go to the shop at the high street to pick up their stuff.
No, nothing. So I got to Punta Arenas. It's right down Chile by the Straits of Magellan and stuff, and it's the last jumping point before you fly over to Antarctica and stuff. And I had no gear, and it was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Who am I going to contact? Like, I don't know. So I contacted BA. BA are terrible. And I reached out online, and I think Cork Bio got back to me. They were very sound. And I think your man rang me and stuff, and he was, I think his name was Owen, really good guy. And he got onto BA and stuff like that. And I think that might have got a little bit of momentum. So then they found my bags. And then I was there like, man, I have no confidence that they're going to get it from Heathrow to this other airport to take it off. And you have to swap terminals to this other plane to get to Punta Arenas. I had no confidence. So I was there like, oh man, I'm going home. Like, and then, but I actually got it the day before I was due to met the guys. The luggage did arrive, thank God. But it was like, yeah, like I had nothing. Like, you know, it was just like.
Did that feel like a little? Did that feel like a little bit of a lottery then? Because I know for me, I always compare it. For me, the Ironman, if I survive the swim, it's going to be a good day. If your bag just arrived, it was like, oh, this is amazing. This is going to be a great trip.
Oh, it was such a sense of relief. So like I thought they'd deliver them to the airport, but the hotel, they didn't, so I had to go get them. And I was like waiting, and it was like looking up. I met a couple that were Spanish but spoke really good English, and it kind of sped up the process and stuff. And when the 2 bags came out, it was like just a weight off my shoulders, because it was like, it's not like you can grab the next flight to Antarctica. It's like, it's fucking flying whatever day it is, and you're either on it or you're not. You can't get the next one. There is no next one for like 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever. But such a sense of relief.
What's it like landing into Antarctica?
It's about 4 hours, and it's like it's a blue ice runway, you know. So it's like it was actually really smooth. You know, it's like smoother than any Ryanair flight or anything I've been on. But the flight is pure cool and, you know, relaxed, like, right. So like you kind of fly in and stuff. Like the door to the cockpit is open, and I remember going to the loo, and the door was open, and I was going, "Fuck it, I'll go up." And I just knocked, and it was, "Can I come in?" Come in and stuff. So I was chatting away to the guys inside. I think I have a video of it somewhere, so I just took a video. I think the plane came from Norway or Sweden or something like that, and I think it flew down or something. But the crew was all Scandinavian. Like, they were very, very chill. Like, it was not like a normal flight, but it was like a nice plane and stuff. And then just coming in was like so smooth. It was just like I have a couple of clips of it, a couple of videos, and it was just like touching down. And then like it is the, I suppose, the top process that not many people get to set foot on Antarctica. And it was just like, you know, it was just really cool getting off. And they were like, you know, it's going to be really cold and stuff like that. And you put on like 8 million layers. It wasn't that cold getting off. So I feel like a bit of a dope, like we're like a Michelin man coming off. You know, there was like airport staff wearing like kind of minimum gear, and I was there kind of going, oh man, we're pussies. Like, you know, it's just, but it was really cool. And then like some of the vehicles over are just, they're mad. You know, there's some pictures online and stuff. They're nuts. You know, there's just like these mad concoctions of like a tank and a big truck and stuff like that. And they kind of ferry into like Union Glacier then, like, which is really cool. Like, yeah.
Unreal.
And obviously you summit that, you're the 31st. Nice feeling. It wasn't too difficult. But how then is your confidence? You're back training. You've been with the guys in the gym. We're setting our sights on number 7 now, Andy. How is your confidence, and what's in store in the planning for number 7?
Yeah, so like I suppose I've been tipping away at the gear and stuff. I got my suit there maybe 6 weeks ago. It's kind of a big item. Like, I have essentially the suit in a 2-piece, you know, so it's like a nice 2-piece, but they don't like a 2-piece. You got to get a 1-piece. So it's like the big, you know, 8,000 meter suit, and you know, I had a lot of the other gear as well and stuff like that. And like the only other color I could get was yellow. You know, like you buy it online. I bought it from Bergfreunde, and it's like, it's big, like it's yellow. It's very yellow.
Yes, I know anyway.
And I'm actually thinking about the gear, because like it's so hard to get gear, right? And you have to buy it off online and stuff. And like I had the ugliest outfit in Antarctica. It was just horrible, you know, because the only pants I could get, 8,000 meter pants, were yellow, right? And then the only jacket I could get was like, I don't know, orange or red or something like. And then your boots, like I was definitely the most mismatched color gear person ever to set foot in Antarctica. You can send your pictures, like maybe the pictures are flattering. It was horrible, like, you know, like yellow pants and fucking red top or something. But it's hard to get gear, and you're taking a punt with but you can't buy it off the shelf. You're buying it online. You're taking a guess. I was taking a guess with the suit. I think I got it right. I think it's okay. I think it's the right size. It's a little bit big, but next size down might be too small, you know.
I mean, you get this wrong on your gear wrong on a marathon, you deal with a bit of chafing and bloody nipples. You get it wrong with this, you know. We mentioned frostbite earlier, and the finger and everything else. Like, it's like a silly question. What is 8,000 meter pants?
I think it's relative to the fill, you know, the down fill and stuff like that. Okay. So like they're rated typically is kind of mountaineering stuff. So like, you know, like this is rated to 8,000 meters. For example, these suits, you know, I think it's a North Face. It's an Everest expedition suit. It's rated to 8 and a bit. And I think it's some, I'm not sure, it's some relationship to the fill,
right?
And baffles and stuff like that. Well, I'll take their word for it. Like, it says 8,000 meters, and I'll buy it. Like, I mean, they'd be kind of lousy to give you something like for 6,000 meters when you're buying 8,000 meters. Like,
with that much online, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, man, that's shitty. I just lost my toes there. Like, it's kind of lousy. Like, but the mindset and stuff. Yeah, no, it's good. So Denali was 23. I've had a setback since. A couple of years older. I think I can do it. I spoke to people that have done it. There was a really cool guy I met through Adam. He's actually Irish, and he turned out to be the oldest Irish guy to climb Everest. And I actually met him. I met him at his workplace there a few months back. Dave Keating. Dave was 57. He's the oldest Irish guy to do it, and he gave me some really good advice and stuff like that. And Adam was kind of telling me from the time he was there as well that a lot of it is down to you need mental resilience. You have to make peace with the fact you're going to be there for a couple of months. That's it.
Wow.
If you let this kind of, I'm homesick, I want to go home, I'm cold, I'm tired of shitting into a bag, forget about it. You have to buy in. Every expedition has good days and bad days. And, it's all worth it once you can get up. So it's like one day after another day, it's one foot in front of the other. I'm 6 months out. I tend not to think about the negatives of it. I'm confident I can do it.
What is the estimated time or the average time for this climb?
Yeah, so I have to be in Kathmandu the 31st of March. Now, because I lost my bags the last time, I'm definitely going to go a few days early, just in case it happens again. It's hardly going to happen again, like, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen again. So I got to meet the guys the 31st. First couple of days kind of prep, then you kind of fly into Lukla. You're like a week and a half climbing into base camp, and then you start your rotations and stuff. So just from Googling the last couple of seasons, you summit kind of mid-May. Depending on weather, you can be very unlucky as well. Some seasons people have gone home. So probably start in earnest maybe 3rd or 4th of April, maybe from Lukla, and then getting into base camp, starting your rotations, transition through the camps, get up to Camp 4. Yeah, my understanding is, everybody's getting the same weather advice, weather windows, since those mad pictures you see online of queues and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just going to get on with it. I'm just going to
Can I ask about that? Have they changed that? Because we've seen a lot of people actually lost their lives, not from the summit, but from the queuing to summit. Have they changed that, or what is the way?
See, I don't know.
What's going to happen, Andy?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I get up and down in one piece. But if you think, I suppose if you think about it logically, right? Everybody's getting the same weather advice, right? It's not, the company I'm going with is CTSS. All the companies, all the crowds, all the Sherpas, all the guys, they're all getting the same advice. So obviously, everybody wants to act on the best interest of their clients and stuff like that. So like if you get a weather window, I'd watch movies and stuff. Did you watch that Everest movie with Josh Brolin and the guys? Did you ever see that one? It's about it's kind of disaster a number of years ago.
It's
stuff
not
like
a good
the American guy.
You wouldn't want to watch it before watching you go doing it anyway.
Yeah, no, the American guy.
Yeah, he did.
The American guy, he was left for dead, and then his face and his fingers and stuff like that. But like, if you watch that movie, like they were kind of, you could see that the guides were chatting between themselves. I don't know, is it like that? The guides saying like, you start at 1 a.m, I'll start at 2 a.m. I haven't a clue. I actually don't know. I'm really confident with the crowd I'm going with. I did Vincent with them, and I think it's the same guides again, and they're 100%. They're brilliant. Nani and Mike. They're just really good guys. So you trust them. You have to trust them implicitly. Yeah.
Andy, you are doing this in aid of a charity, I believe, again, because you always try and add something else into this. What can people do, I suppose, to follow your journey as you move through this and support you on it? Can we send you a different color pair of pants, or
different color pair of pants? Well, I have the suit now, but it'd be fine. But yeah, look, all clothes are greatly appreciated. I'll give you my address. So it's like the Grief Centre. So I've set up an iDonate page because it just takes the hassle out of it. So if anybody wants to have a look at what the Grief Centre does, it's a really good charity in Limerick. So like previous ones we'd worked with were the Irish Cancer Society, Laura Lynn, which are really big charities, and they're brilliant. But the Grief Centre is something kind of, it's kind of local to where I'm living. I've called into the guys inside. They do great work, but they're a smaller charity as well. So it's like my kind of perspective on it was, it's better to raise a few quid for a smaller entity as opposed to like a really well run kind of charity, and that's testament to the charity as well. It's amazing. I partnered with the guys the last one and this one, and so the I Donate page is there. People absolutely have a look at what they do, and if you like it, throw them a few quid. And then if anybody wants to reach out or collaborate with the seventh one, myself, kind of stuff like that, absolutely, just reach out and stuff like that. So like statistically, and again, I'm going to sound like a knob, but like there's been like 15 Irish people that have done the 7, and like I'd love to be kind of thereabouts. I think that guy Dave is actually doing Vincent, which is his 7th in January, so he's definitely going to be number 16, I think. So I'd love to get in kind of under 20.
Not
stuff
unless
like
you tell him where he can borrow a tuk-tuk.
I know, yeah. I don't think he's that silly, but yeah. So like, if anybody wants to reach out or just have a chat, or I've done a couple of kind of internal chats and talks and stuff like that, and my nephew's school, and I think there's another one coming up and stuff like that. I like talking about it. I like talking about the journey. I like talking about getting an amateur, trying something a little bit different and stuff like that. And everybody's Everest is different. My Everest just happens to be Everest, but like you mentioned an Ironman there. That's probably your next Everest, is it?
I'd probably never do another one.
But you might. So it's like, so it's like
might take on that mountain in Australia. That sounds like my kind of party.
Joe Patrick would be more challenging, but Australia is cool. New Zealand is cool. But
very good.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's just for trying something different. It's like, as I said, I'm not a mountaineer, so it's just just hopefully I can get it done.
Can I ask just one final question on the training right now? For like, we've talked numbers on some of the stuff, but this is obviously Everest, but 8,848 meters, and no one's ever, you can't go further than that, and just it's so much more looking at numbers than what you've done so far. Not to discount everything you've done and the challenges and stuff like that, but the biggest one next to that was the one in South America, 6,900. Like does the training change for you now or anything like that? Or is it just get as much hiking, running, bit of strength training in, carry tires, whatever you have to do?
Yeah, like that's it. Like I even when I was marathon running and stuff, I suppose I haven't run a marathon since I broke my ankle. I've done a couple of halves since, but I've never followed a plan ever. I don't follow anything. I just kind of like even when I was doing marathons, it was like I kind of know I need to do a long run. It's kind of 3 weeks out. I better do it.
Yeah.
So I go out and I do it. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna train five times a week, 6 times a week. I've got back into the running. I actually did 3 runs this week, which was good. It was good for me. And then kind of probably culminate with a hike. I think a few weeks back, I did Keeper Hill, which is a local climb here, but I kind of had this idea that I'd do this kind of 7 days in a row. So I managed to do 7 days in a row, and it was cool. So running, gym, probably focus on the diet a little bit more. I kind of had this thing in my mind 6 months out and stuff. And then, just hiking stuff and just try and get consecutive days in, and just, it's kind of what I'd done previously. Yeah, just kind of freestyle it a little bit. It should be okay.
What a best way to end it. Yeah, it should be okay climbing Everest.
What an attitude, though. That is the way it is. We get worked up about so much, but if Andy's gone,
there's no point. It's outside your control. A lot of stuff is outside your control. You turn up, you're present, you're a team player, you have the right gear, you have the right attitude, and everything else is outside your control. So you just go for it.
We will have your Instagram in the show notes. We'll have your I Donate link there as well, and the absolute best of luck for March 31st in the middle of May going up Everest. That's absolutely phenomenal. Listen to your story and all the rest. I'll never look at a tuk-tuk the same again.
Don't. Yeah. I don't advise it. And like the tree and the tumbling and the crashing. No, it's.
On that note, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of the Ending of Run Day podcast. Myself, Andy, and Eric. Take care.